Steroid cycle. We protect what matters most.
Bodybuilder in Thailand. I am an explorer. I'm like Columbus. I'm like Magellan. I'm the second coming of Columbus and Magellan. I'm an explorer. I like to go on expeditions. So that's why I like to travel outside the country, why I like to live outside the country, why I like to live among different cultures. You know, those guys back then in those days, you know, it's really like unacceptable, really. Like, it's socially unacceptable to leave your culture, and yeah, it's socially unacceptable to leave your culture and go live in a different culture. I guess it's sort of like leaving a religion or something. It's like when you leave one group, it's hard for that group to ever be cool with you again. Man, check this out. These guys right here. You've made it when you are way more yoked than whatever those motherfuckers are called. So look at that car, Cannabis Superstore. You see that? Cannabis Superstore. Yeah, so the reason why I like going to other countries and shit like that is because I have this like spirit of the explorer in me, where I like to watch and observe people. So I got a psychology degree in college, and that's because this desire had manifested itself. Like probably right after I got married, and then peaked right about the time that I got divorced. And which wasn't when I was in community college still. And then once I was in university, I kind of had like achieved my goal to get there. And I was like kind of disillusioned with what I had been learning, and took my own path and started studying like biologically based psychology more, because that's what really interests me, is like how biology and chemicals and genetics and hormones and shit like that affect people's behavior. And that's why like I've devoted so much time, so much of my life to learning about this stuff. That's why if you go to my website, it is literally the best place on the internet to learn the honest truth with no bias about performance enhancing drugs. The articles that I've written there, because everyone else has some kind of like other interest or something like that is pulling them to like make exaggerations or not tell the exact truth and stuff. But if you guys want to know like literally zero bias, the way it actually is when you use them, the articles on my website tell that. And so that was another thing. I was like exploring that's why I like made sure I used them all, so that I could then talk about it and be like, yo, this is a freaking face, and you can put my goddamn face, and I'm gonna say that I'm a user of these things, and you know what, I'm not freaking lying. Like, this is the way it fucking is. I'm not a pro bodybuilder, and I don't have any other freaking interests. I'm a guy just like you who likes bodybuilding, who has excelled in it, and you know what? I'm just telling it like it is, like I was your friend or like I was your bro. I'm not trying to like fuck with you or lie with you or sell you to something.
Is that a lot later in my life?
Jesus, this is so distracting. You have no idea how distracting it is walking on this, but I think it's cool. I think that you guys are probably going to enjoy seeing the distractions. So with like my interest in biological psychology and like where different people are in different parts of the world, and like how I believe actually that our genetics like determine like quite a bit of our temperaments and things like that. Like, people evolve in different parts of the world to look a certain way on the outside because that's the most advantageous for that area of the world. But like, you know what, the reason why humans have big brains and the reason why like we're, you know, considerably different from the other animals is because the brain is our most important organ. So it's like we're not like as strong, like nowhere near as strong as like monkeys, and like don't have like offensive or defensive weapons like, you know, a spike like a rhino, or, you know, really sharp claws or anything like that. You know, our brain is our thing. So like it's just like so politically correct and influenced and just like ignoramus Nimrod, denying reality to say that like also in addition to the physical appearances that evolved in each area of the world to look a certain way, you know, predominantly, like also different mental temperaments and skills and talents and weaknesses are going to be inherent among all the different groups of people who evolved in different places in order to best be that place where they evolved top competition. So that's why that happens, and that's one of the reasons why I'm so fascinated by going and living in other countries. And I like to go there and I like to watch the people in the natural environment. I don't go to any of the tourist spots, or maybe like on the last day or something I'll go to a tourist spot. But the thing that I do, and it's freaking cool, is I go to like the spots where like most of the people who are, that's right, baby. I go to the place where all the like poor people are, who are like spending all the time outside, right? And I go to those areas and those markets and things like that, and I be among them, and I see the real culture of the city, the real culture of the country, the real culture of the society of the people that isn't influenced by people trying to put on like shows and stuff like this, and trying to be like you know, our appearances. Like these people are still just trying to like get enough to eat and like have a place to sleep and take care of their kids, you know, as like best they can. Like they're like, you know, it's when you're among those people with those kinds of things, those kinds of demands and pressures on them, don't have time for appearances, okay? And so you get the true culture. And that's why I love third world countries. I love third world countries because you get this true culture, man. You get this true connection with people, and you also get this true connection with you. Because then, like, culture is inherent. Like, every culture that you live in, like, the effects of it are so strong because of the fact that, like, we evolved to be, like, social animals. Like it's like dogs, you know, like dogs are so much happier when they're with other dogs. They always want to be with other dogs. Like we are the same way, you know. We always want to be with other humans. So that's why I think it's really cool to be visiting different cultures, and like also why I wanted to visit LA, because I believe that that's the most live in LA, because I believe that that's the most Los Angeles right now, in Las Vegas, but I believe that Los Angeles is the most corrupt culture, like the most corrupt people who are like denying reality, like they're in complete and total denial of what is real, what their senses tell them, but it's like they're also in control of the propaganda that makes people question their senses and question what they see and say, you know, a woman is a man, a woman is a man, and a man is a woman, and women aren't feminine and men aren't masculine. You can be anything, and let's celebrate it all. You can be anything if you want, and I don't give a fuck, but it just doesn't mean that I'm gonna still want to associate with you. I'll still respect you, just won't want you to be around. So when you go to these cultures that have like less demand, like they have so much, the demand that they have is only for like food and like place to sleep, having kids, things like that. You absorb these like awesome qualities, and these mindsets of where they're really in touch with their senses. They call each other fat. They call themselves ugly. You know, like if they're fat or if they're ugly, even the girls, they're just like, yeah, I'm ugly. Like, I'm dead serious. That is not an exaggeration. Ugly girls in Asia, for the most part, if they're ugly, will say like, well, I'm ugly. And like, even if you try and like trick them, like sometimes like if you're trying to get laid or something, you know, sometimes you gotta, you know, like it, I don't even know why the fuck I said that just now. But anyways, if you say like, if they're ugly, they know they're ugly, and they'll say it. And if you try to like lie to them, they'll be like, shut the fuck up. And if you like keep doing it, they'll like tell you to go away. It's freaking crazy. They're in touch with reality. And then think about like the qualities also that in third world countries are most important, like in a mate too. It's like the most important qualities are always like practicality, whereas in America it's more like emotional reasons. But it's like you'll see when you travel the world and you go to countries that don't have as much money, like your third world countries, you'll see a lot of dudes who are like not good looking dudes, or like not cool dudes, or like not in shape dudes, but they'll be with beautiful women, and like the beautiful women will love them, and you'd be like, oh, something's different here, man. That's what I'm talking about. Like, I am an explorer. I am like, I got the spirit of Columbus. I got the spirit of Magellan. I like observing these things. That's why I'm telling you guys about it. I'm telling you about my travel stories, my travel experiences. And it's just cool, man. It's just cool. Now I'm gonna leave this one off here. I'm gonna cut the story off. I'm gonna cut the story off, leave it here, leave a little suspense, and let me know what you guys think about this kind of stuff, because this is my shit, you know. This is my life. Traveling the world, learning about the different people in the different world, admiring them, seeing their strengths, seeing their weaknesses, trying to extract the good parts that I can and the wisdom that I can. And I just generally have a good time doing it. I have a great time doing it. And